The final double day before the race is upon me, and I am going to take it pretty easy today. So I am in what has become my old reliable, the Takumi Sen 11. Wild that this shoe from first run gave me such a negative impression and has become the staple daily shoe of my rotation. I still have fewer miles on this pair of shoes than something like the Mega Blast, which I, became extremely hyped on as soon as I started running in it. But this is the one that for those shorter days, or for those days where I don't want to think, I've just been reaching for all the time. I love the Takumi Sen 11. I'm going to keep reaching for it. This was actually, I didn't talk about this on camera at all, but I was heavily debating both running the race in the Takumi Sen 11, despite it being lower stack. It's just the most reliable shoe that I have. Like, it's the most consistent, most stable shoe that I've been running in this year. And as a daily trainer to take to Rome and Florence with me, but I have the Dynafish Xiaonan, so I mean, there's really not a lot between the two in terms of excitement, reliability, and hype. But Takumi Sen 11, one of my favorite shoes this year, and I don't think that I've given it the credit that it deserves. So without further ado, let's go!
I'm back once again with the Takumi Sen Blaster, moving real thin like a zoomy dog faster.
In my ideal world, how I would end up running a marathon is I would just be running really high mileage for the whole year, and then somebody who I barely know but is aware of how I'm doing training wise just like buys all of the marathon stuff for me, buys the ticket and organizes the travel, and then tells me like a week before the marathon that I'm running, or even a couple days, like one day before the marathon I'm running, yeah, tomorrow morning, instead of your long run, you're doing a marathon. That way, I wouldn't have any of this anxiety or stress or planning to worry about coming into race day. So my plan for today is 10 this morning at a minimum, depending on how I feel, and then 10 in the afternoon, and that's it. I'm not going to run tomorrow. It's just not worth it with trying to get packed and double checking that I'm packed and so on and so forth, and getting to the airport. I would like to run tomorrow, and theoretically probably could grab like 5 or 6, but I'd rather film a few shots of the process of leaving and take some time to get myself ready for the trip, and get to the airport, meet up with my buddy before getting to the airport or when we get there, and start the flying process. I realized yesterday when I didn't go to the gym, normally I go lift upper body on Mondays, and I realized that yesterday when I didn't do that, I just didn't feel good. Like physically I didn't feel good, and I think it was my body is used to that ritual and a certain level of stimulus that it's not happy. My body is not happy when I don't have like at least something physical in a day. But I did get some really good writing done last night instead of the gym. So it's one of those trade-offs. I mean, it's really a very worthwhile trade-off as far as I'm concerned. One thing I'm slightly worried about is that they might finish demoing the building before I get back. There's lights on in there now, which I believe is some sort of equipment, but it's looking like they're getting really close. There's like a whole platform down there now that they put down, like with gravel, which seems to be either something like an extraction site or a preparation site. I'll show you when we get closer. So I really hope I don't miss it, but if I'm in Rome and Florence, it's worth missing a building blowing up. I just hope somebody records it. So yeah, progress is being made. I really hope it ends up being worth it, this demolition, because the amount of trees they had to kill really bums me out. So, like, a lot of wildlife was displaced by this, and obviously the building is totally a blight on this part of the city, and there's a lot of riverfront property that's possible if this building isn't here, but yeah, I'm not a fan, but I'm also understanding of the need to develop this area. Yeah, but the fences have now extended to here. That's new. They're working on it. They're getting it ready. I took in my daily dose of pancakes much later today than normal, and I am experiencing pancake belly in a major way right now. I feel like I'm swimming through the syrup that I ate. I love pancakes. One thing that highlights my weakness as a person is that I was under the assumption that the Florence Marathon was flat, because that's what all of the feedback people give says, and that's not true. I looked at the official race map, good morning, and the altimetry, as they call it, was saying that some 600 feet of gain, which is not much, but it's like not flat. The elevation profile like only goes up by a few meters. Like the maximum gain is like 15 meters over some several miles. So you would think that that wouldn't add up eventually to the 600 feet that they're claiming it does. So I'm really still not sure how their graphic design is trying to translate what the actual elevation gain is, but we're gonna find out on race day which one's more accurate. I feel like I could get some 600 feet of vert around here in a 20 miler and feel like I was pretty much flat, though. It just depends on like how it's dispersed, because in Ibiza almost all 1,000 feet were just the very first 13 miles, and that's bad. That's not what you want. But it looks like this map, at least in Florence, is a little less direct or less vertical and more spread out. I don't know. There's plenty of hills out here. I should be fine. It'll be cool. I'm not worried about it.
Back once again with the Takumi Sen blaster, moving real thin like a zoomy dog faster.
It is pretty astounding how far I've come in a year and how far consistent mileage can get you. I've been doing little besides running a lot. But yeah, I've sprinkled in a couple workouts here and there. I've slightly cleaned up my eating I still eat pancakes practically every day, but I've improved mildly in other areas. But the main thing that I've done is run more. And yeah, I've seen like some crazy gains. And even just in terms of what my easy or, I don't know, I normally just run at one speed, whatever go is, but I've been seeing my heart rate drop for those paces and the time drop for those paces. So it's feels good to be progressing, and it feels good to just be engaged with the process, because that's really what it's about to me. I've said before on this channel, I don't really like racing very much, and I still don't. Feel a lot of jittery anxiety, nerves and such for doing that. But for running every day, that's what keeps me going. I mean, I like running. I like running. And on the days that I don't do it, like I was saying yesterday, Monday's my rest day, I don't feel as good when I don't run. Normally I'm able to supplement that with the gym, but I decided not to do that yesterday, and physically I didn't feel as good. It's a simple equation. If you work out, move your body, you'll feel better. Science. Does anybody else get like a really strong time dilation property from running? As if like time is either moving slower or faster, depending on how you're feeling, or not even depending on it at all. Where sometimes the amount of time that passes isn't even of the most chief concern, but the distance that you've gone has gone by either faster than you expected, like you thought you'd be not quite as far along in your run, or slower than you've expected, or simultaneously both faster and slower than you expected. None of that seems possible, or even like it makes any sense at all. But right now I just had the thought that, wow, I've gone a lot further than I thought I've gone, and I feel like I've been running forever, but in no time at all. Yeah, it's hard to describe such a sensation because it's inherently contradictory. So last week I did somewhere around 96 miles compared to my usual 100-ish, and I'm feeling rested. I feel like that shouldn't have been so much to make me feel as rested as I do today, but it's like I feel really springy and just I don't know, I haven't looked at my heart rate data because I don't really track that, but I feel like I'm exerting less energy for similar paces, and I'm kind of cruising and have been for a couple of miles now. Yeah, who would have thought a micro taper, and then whatever I taper down to this week will be even more. Still not a crazy amount, but I'll be really rested for Sunday, I think, especially with taking Wednesday off. It's all gonna come together. Just over 10 miles, 7:59 pace. I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm still slightly pancaked, but that was a really good training level run. 1 of 2 today. Probably the second will be right around that pace too, right around that distance, just hitting consistency and negative splitting, which I believe I did pretty consistently throughout that. Trying to get my mind in the rhythm of hitting negative splits throughout the race. Yeah, still trying to figure out my strategy for pacing for the race, but I'll pick one. I'll probably just pick one the day of. I'm not too concerned about this race, honestly. I think that this is the best that I've ever felt about racing, even though I've been sharing with everybody that I do have anxiety about it, but this is among the least that I've ever felt. maybe it's partially because I still have so much to do, so much travel, so much like arriving to the race in one piece and not, getting stuck on an Italian train in the middle of a strike or something. But yeah, I mean, worst comes to worst, I'll just run from Rome to Florence. What could go wrong? But no, seriously, I'm feeling really good about it. And the reason I don't actually have much of a strategy for this race and like much of a pace target is that I'm fairly confident I'm going to PR pretty much no matter what. My last marathon was in the Mega Blast out to the town of Pittsford and back, and I was setting up camera shots. That one didn't go super well because it was the 190-degree day in the fall. Like, it's like a fall day, and it was 90 degrees by midday, by the end of the run. And that still was a PR by over 10 minutes from my previous race. And I know that given the right conditions, plus the last couple of months of additional training, that I'm set up very well for a very kind, very nice PR. It's just how much it is, then that's the window dressing. And it's about, after that, coming up with a long-term strategy of how I'm going to get to 250. That's the real target. Like, 251 maybe, 252 maybe, right? The real target is to get to qualify for Boston and to get in. It's not just qualifying for Boston because, of course, you have to run faster than everybody else who's also qualified for it. But I think that, in the 252 range and under, I should be pretty safe for getting in because normally there's like a 5-minute goober either side of it. So that's the real long-term strategy here, is to run more and run faster and qualify for a race, somewhat arbitrary race, to prove that I'm awesome and to prove that I could do it to myself and build confidence and to keep running. Those are all the goals. And really, the main goal is to continue to run and to continue to improve as a runner. There's no end to this. I'll stop running when I die. So, on that note, thank you all so much for being a part of the saga with me, and stay in motion. Where's my dog? Do you guys want to go outside? Oh, jump. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Go.